99% of dropshippers fail. Here are the secrets that those who are doing really well don't want you to know. This is the real truth about dropshipping and how you can avoid those mistakes. So there are really three principles that I'm going to start with here. So pay attention to each one. So the first principle here is the assumptions that you are making. And what I do is I draw the conclusion similar to what Plato's allegory is, which is that of Plato's cave. If you're not familiar with this, prisoners are chained in a cave. You can see them there. And they are mistaking the shadows on the walls for their given reality. Now, right now in dropshipping, you're maybe looking at shadows. Perhaps you're finding resources, you're looking around online, you're following guidance, but you're actually following the shadows. You're not following what those people who are having success are truly doing, and you're just going down the wrong path. What I want to show you is how to stop looking into the shadows and how to start looking out and actually creating your dream business. And it doesn't have to be difficult. That's the key thing here. So that could be you right now trying dropshipping. The shadows that you would be chasing are things like, oh, I just need to find one viral product. Maybe if I use TikTok Shop and run TikTok ads, then my sales are suddenly going to explode. Oh, maybe I can scale to £10,000 a month by just watching free YouTube videos, looking online and trying to follow loads of different methods. So these are just misleading. They're dangerous illusions designed to keep you spending money on courses while never building a sustainable business. The real winners in e-commerce, they're not playing this shadow game, okay? They've escaped the cave and they've discovered what I'm about to show you, a business model that actually works in 2025. But first, let me explain why you've been set up to fail from day one. So what we have here is the false confidence trap. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect. Now, some of you may be familiar with this. You may have seen this. So what the Dunning-Kruger effect explains perfectly is why most dropshippers fail. So it works like this. We start here where we have the delusion phase. So in this phase, your confidence is starting to skyrocket. You're watching gurus flashing Lamborghinis and thinking this looks easy. You invest in a basic course showing outdated methods and your confidence is starting to increase. You think you know everything. You launch a store with complete confidence, but zero underlying strategy. What happens next is you realize you start going into a pit. There's a desperation phase, which is where your ad costs exceed your profit margins, customers' complaints, they come into your inbox, there are shipping delays. You realize down here that you actually may not know anything, and it's actually a lot more difficult than you're being told. Then we have the dependency phase. So here you buy more courses, hoping for the next secret hack. You jump between products, platforms, strategies. Your credit card debt may be growing while your confidence shrinks. So what happens here is you then think, well, let's start again. And then you go and think, well, it's more complicated and now I know it. And after that period of time, this could be years. It could be years that you're going through this cycle. Perhaps right now you're the type of person who is just starting and you've looked at some YouTube videos thinking this is very easy. You think you know everything. But the big issue that may happen is later on, you're going to realize that once you launch, something isn't right. You don't know anything. And this is what I want to save you from here. The next part is around your strategy. So using first principles thinking, do the maths. Okay, and I'm going to show you some examples here. But if you are selling low ticket products, perhaps you've seen other videos or you've joined programs where they're talking about how you can go to Alibaba, you can go to DHgate, you can go to other platforms, and you can just find a product that's doing well and you can brand it, you can white label it, right? So in this case, we have a product here called Indestructible Shoes. You can see the copy here is good, it's okay. And below that, there is a creative, there's a video, and this is being showed on Facebook, right? On Meta, on Instagram as well. And the cool thing about this is, yes, it can work. Absolutely, it can work. If you get this product up and running, you could make a little bit of profit, and I'll go through some numbers later on. But the issue here, and there are a number of issues, is that this is the low ticket reality, okay? So if we look at numbers from years ago, where this was working very well, till today in 2025, Facebook's costs have increased and audiences have got a lot more sophisticated, okay? So let me explain. The CPM, which is how much we're paying Facebook for 1,000 impressions, used to be £8. It is now £30 plus. The competition has gone from moderate to extreme, you can see here, and the shipping times 2 to 3 weeks to 3 to 4 weeks, dependent on who your suppliers are, just because it's so competitive. Customer expectations as well. They used to be lower and now they are much higher. People out there are not stupid. There's a reason why Temu came along. Some of you may be using Temu. Temu came along and they thought, we're going to cut you out. If you're trying to do this, you're trying to be a middleman, middlewoman in this case, we're going to cut you out. We're actually going to go straight to directly to the consumer. And that's what they did. So if you see here, these are the men's safety work shoes, very similar to what we have here. And if these were selling for, say, £40, something like that, we could just go straight to Temu and buy them at £9.90. The consumer doesn't need you. The consumer doesn't need you in the middle. In fact, all of what you would be doing here would be a waste of time simply because the market has developed. Over the last 4 to 5 years, this has completely changed. Everything has changed with the marketplace. So let's say here we have a dog collar. Okay, this is a product that you could sell low ticket. And here we have a wine cooler. Now, some of you may have tried to build a low ticket business and realized that it just doesn't work. And what I want to show you here is how much do you need to sell in terms of product volume in order to reach a goal of £5,000 per month of profits that you are keeping. And this is a good starting goal. A lot of my students and clients have this goal in mind. So I'll go through an example here quickly with you. If we have a low ticket product, and this product is, say, a dog collar here, the RRP that the customer would pay is £15, okay? With the high ticket product, the wine cooler, this would be around £600 the customer's giving you. Now, of course, with this model, we're collecting the money first, so we're always getting paid first. That's the most important thing. And then we are placing the order with the supplier. So you don't need to be buying in stock. You don't need to have inventory. We're basically doing this as a pure dropshipping model, okay? So our margins here are around 50% with the low ticket and around 35% with the high ticket product. These are averages, okay? So your gross profit per sale that you're keeping on the left-hand side with the dog collar is £7.50, and on the right-hand side, it's £210. So you can see the difference already, right? I hope this is starting to click for you. How much better this model is than wasting your time spending hours and hours trying to make less than £10, or if that, per sale. So the ad costs, usually these are around 5% of the RRP, so the recommended retail price. This is the UK lingo, this is the sale price, simple as that. So this would be 5% is around 75 pence. And for the high ticket product, this is around £30, so significantly more. But the key thing here is our net profit. This is the most important part. So for the dog collar, which again looks well, you could go ahead and do this and probably get some sales. You're making £6.75 per sale. With the high ticket product, this is where the magic happens. You're making £180 per sale. So what does this equate to? Well, to get to £5,000, you would need 740 people to give you money. So that's a lot of admin. That's also a lot of headaches. And it just requires too much scale, too much volume. Not considering the competition, the long shipping times, the amount of refunds you're probably going to get. Whereas with this model, with the wine coolers, you need just 28 people to buy. Just 28 people to buy. So this model with 28 people is a lot more manageable and a lot more achievable. I hope you can see that. So the next thing here is, who are you becoming, right? And the key thing to remember is that at the moment you're consuming. You're in this consumer mode, and you can see the image here of this guy that I created using AI. And he just is thinking. He's just thinking, looking around, always wondering, could this be me? Could this be me? Could I actually do something like this? Yeah. And there's a lot of overwhelm. Maybe you're sitting there now thinking, I'm watching videos. I'm watching loads of YouTube videos. They're all telling me different things, and you don't have any direction. Well, you need to switch that. You need to consider a few things. Consumption is good, but you need to start getting into production. Okay. You need to start becoming a producer, and producers test, they learn. And the key thing about this is when you plug in AI. So, again, if you're not familiar with AI, we have lots of programs now. We have GPT, Chat GPT, we have Claude, we have Perplexity. And at the time of recording, we also have Grok 3. And this basically facilitates you from going from a consumer over here, where you're simply consuming, you're maybe trying to learn, maybe you're thinking you're learning, and between integrating, which is where you're asking these AI platforms how you do certain things, the pros and the cons. And you can even run this video by it, give it the points that I'm telling you, and ask it for its opinion. And you'll be interested to see what the outcome is on that, right? And when you switch that over and you become a producer, you're now actively testing. So my big advice here, and the mistake that people make, is they are actively consuming, they're not actively producing. Okay. Second to that is thinking about the future. So in the future, we know that AI is coming, and I just want you to think for a moment about your job. If you have a blue collar, a white collar, you're hands-on, if you're educated, what profession are you in? If you're in a profession, and that profession, what is going to happen when we have AGI? Okay, which could be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years out, perhaps. When AI gets to a point where it can do what you do and it can do it a million times better, what will happen? And so I want you to think about that. If you're still consuming, maybe you're reading news about AI, maybe you're trying to upskill yourself in what you're doing, great. You can leverage AI, but you must be using it to produce. So the key thing here is in the program that we have, we are using AI to get us a result. We're using AI to generate results. And that's the key thing. We're building it into our business from a fundamental level, from the framework level, all the way from the beginning to the end. And it can do a lot of things for us. So that's the key mistake that people make currently, which you may be making, is who are you now versus who are you becoming? So just have a think about that. So really, what are the solutions here? So I've given you a few things. I've told you that there is the assumption that you may be making. You may be looking at shadows. You're chasing business models that may not work. Perhaps you are trying things already and you've got false sense of confidence. Just be aware of the Dunning-Kruger effect. That's the second point. The third point is check your strategy. If you're doing low ticket, think again. The market is changing. And who are you? Are you a consumer or a producer? And in this world, you're going to need to think ahead. You're going to need to think, am I actually leveraging AI or am I just using it for fun? So think deeply about that. That is a big mistake people are making right now, is they're just on the sidelines. And perhaps that's you. Perhaps you feel like that. You're just sitting on the sidelines. And when you see the maths here, I don't think you should be building this type of business where you're selling dog collars, right? They're unbranded, they're unlabeled. You have to white label them. You have to create a brand from scratch. With wine coolers, we know people are looking for the brands that we sell, and we have to sell less. So the 3 steps that you can take to overcome these mistakes are shown here. The first one is very simple. It's to find niches and products that are working for high ticket. So you'll see a link below this video. I don't have anything to sell you with this. You actually get it for free, and that is our niches guide. We update this every single year. It has 300 plus high ticket niches in. Just follow the link down below. Put your details in. We will send that to you, and that is completely for free. I just want to help you get started in this space. Whether you join me, you join someone else, I just want you to be better. So we give that to you. The next thing, and this is very, very key, is always find suppliers that are premium, and you want to be creating partnerships. This is the key word here. Yeah. So we want partnerships. We want to be partnering with these suppliers, and we want to be using these keywords, which are, we are a marketing platform, and we're here to promote their products free of charge. That is the key. So we're becoming an authorized retailer, and there are many, many businesses that are near you in the country that you're in that have warehouses that look just like this, that are full of high-end products, that are branded, that are named products, that are some of the world's best brands. And if you structure it correctly and you reach out to them, you don't have to compete. You don't have to buy access to these lists that you may be using. You don't have to use platforms like AutoDS or other platforms that auto-populate for you. You're building a moat. And that moat effectively is you're in a blue or a red ocean. You want to be in a blue ocean. You want to be in an ocean where there is no blood, basically where you have the open waters. There's a lot of opportunity and not many people are behind you, chasing you, trying to bite your business, undercut you and take you down. And so when you're looking for these premium suppliers, you need to be able to identify them and be able to contact them correctly because no one else will be. This is the thing. Fear is the thing that slows people down. And unless you are able to overcome that fear and approach these distributors, suppliers, and manufacturers, you'll just rely on programs like AutoDS or paying for lists without ever emailing or ever speaking to someone. If you do things quick and cheap, that's the outcome that you may get. The next and final thing here is you need to do authority-based marketing. So effectively, this is demonstrating that we have a brand that is recognizable. We have a brand that's recognizable in the marketplace, and we are promoting that on Google Shopping. We're getting it to the top of the feed. And when that product is at the top, we pay per click, and people are seeing your products because they are searching for your products. That's authority-based marketing. You are an authority, you have a brand, you have a company, and because people are searching, they have intent and they trust your brand. And because they trust your brand, they are then more likely to buy. They have the intent, they have the trust, and they will give you the money for the products. Whereas with the opposite model up here, which is the low ticket method, you are simply interrupting them, you are disrupting them. And yes, they may have an interest in purchasing this. It shows up on their feed, but very savvy consumers are going to go to somewhere else. They can get it direct, like Temu. And you can see here, rather than spending £40 or $40, they can get it for £9, £10 or dollars. A lot better, a lot simpler for them. But for the business owner, this would destroy your business. So I hope you can see here, these are the mistakes that people make. They're not following the right principles. They are not using AI correctly. And that could be you if you think that you're a consumer rather than a producer. The fundamentals of what you're trying to do just don't work. So do map it out. And the final thing is the blueprint that you're following may not be the right one. And so you need to find a system that works. And on this channel, I'm going to be going into a lot more detail, more nuance about how each of these systems fit together. So make sure you like and subscribe and definitely leave a comment below. I'm more than happy to reply to those comments personally as we're growing this YouTube channel, growing our impact and growing our value. So I'll leave you with two choices now. Those two choices are very simple. On the left, you have here the cave. And right now, you may be in that cave. You may be solo. You may just be a solopreneur. Maybe you're looking at this on the side and you're basically by yourself. You're isolated, right? However, on the right-hand side, you have the luscious forest and you have a pathway that has been already cut through the forest to the end goal. We've already done the path for you. You just have to walk along that path. So remember, you always have a choice. You have a choice about who you listen to, who you follow, what method you use. But I want to make it clear that whether it's me or someone else, make sure you think first before you get lured in to any sort of opportunity. That is the biggest mistake that we see is entrepreneurs, either beginners or experienced entrepreneurs, can get lured down a path. They only realize a lot later on that they are on this Dunning-Kruger curve and something is not right. They don't know anything, it doesn't work, and then they give up. So I don't want that to be you. So please subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you on the next video.